Earl, we finished the first day at the FAA UAS Symposium, packed to the gills. They actually had to bring in extra seats. So talk about an SRO crowd. What did you want to accomplish by being here?
Well, I think I accomplished it just by what you're talking about, that SRO crowd. The number one thing we're looking to do is interact with the users, the stakeholders. And just by having everybody here, that was a success.
What were the issues that you felt were prominent today, and what's likely to be prominent the rest of the week?
Well, I think the main issue is how do we collaborate together? We're all looking to integrate UASs into the national airspace safely, and we really need to do it together because it's certainly, as I mentioned during the conference, FAA doesn't have all the answers, industry doesn't have all the answers, but working together, we can get this new technology fielded into the national infrastructure.
Oh, this is more than just a technology revolution. This is a social revolution. This is how you change worlds, and you guys are riding the leading edge of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks for mentioning that, Jim, because that was one of my main points is really this, we're integrating into society. We're not just integrating into the national airspace system, and that is something significantly different for the FAA and, quite frankly, for the aviation community than we've ever had to deal with before, and we're going to need this vast group of stakeholders to help us through that transition.
One of the most interesting statements of the day was Administrator Huerta saying, heretofore, everything up to now, this was the easy stuff. And I asked him, from his standpoint, what was the hard stuff? Where you're sitting right now in your seat, what is the hard stuff for you?
The hard stuff is to continue to perform. Their expectations are really high at this point. By getting Part 107 out there, having the registration rule, those were two big rulemaking projects, and rulemaking projects take many years. That didn't just happen last year. And so I think everybody's expecting the cadence of the rulemaking environment to continue, the number of operations to continue at the volume and pace that they've been taking place in the last 6 months. And that's a major challenge. And, I'm up to that challenge, we hope. And one thing we do know is we're going to make sure that as we expand operations, we'll do it safely.
A number of people from the FAA had mentioned the partnerships that you've had with some of the organizations. We worked obviously very closely with AMA and our AMA drone report, now AUVSI on airborne unmanned, and gotten to know both organizations, and they're real powerhouses in no uncertain terms. Or are these kind of partnerships going to be critical to seeing your mission fulfilled over the next few years?
Absolutely. It's in not just those two partnerships, but partnerships with all the various groups that are coming out of this. As you heard me during the conference say, if you're looking for a way to get engaged, start something locally, start a safety committee, start educating folks. It's really important for us to be able to reach out to folks that we know and trust that can help us. We know there's lots of great people out there. We know there's lots of people who want to operate safely. It's really hard to deal with 2 million people, but it's really a great opportunity when these groups can come in, represent that whole community, and help us understand what the wants and needs of that community are and how we can best communicate with that community. That's one of the big things that we really appreciate. AUVSI and AMA has been helping us is communicating back out to the folks that they represent.
What are you learning from the rank and file here?
Every time I come to a conference like this, I learn something hourly, if not minute by minute. What is great is people are coming forward with solutions and new uses at the same time. And what I'm learning is always how innovative people can be, how quickly the technology is moving, but also it reinvigorates me because everybody's coming to say, I got solutions, and this is how we can move even quicker. It's just really makes me happy to be in my job and to be helping out aviation safety.
There are all these missions that are showing up: package delivery, mapping, information collection. I've been talking to some of the ag operators lately who are just blown away because every day they go out and figure, hey, I can do this too. And they're doing it with Phantom 4 Pros, and they haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Is there a mission at this stage of the game that a drone can't handle? We're
going to find that out. It is pretty amazing the uses people are doing, but I'm really happy to see now, you mentioned agriculture operators. We worked with Yamaha to make them one of the first agriculture operator. That means they hold a Part 137 certificate. We've now had multiple holders of Part 137 certificates. So folks that are already doing manned operations and now they're adding unmanned aircraft onto there. We love that. they're embracing the new technology. There are folks that understand what the safety culture is all about, and they're operating them very safely. And we're getting the same out of HAI too. I mean, their membership is just blossoming with the amount of unmanned operations they're adding. And so they're side by side with the manned operations, and this really makes it exciting. We're bringing in some of the new folks and their new technologies, embracing it, and see how we can use it to improve safety across all operations, not just unmanned operations.
And finally, what does the general commercial aviation world not know about your job right now that it needs to know as it goes forward and tries to accommodate this new form of aviation along with what we've been doing all along?
I don't know if it's they don't know because they're here, but for those folks that aren't here, we can't do it without them. And the decisions that people make as individual operators every single day are deciding the fate for the entire industry. It's just like with manned pilots. You know, when you decide to take a flight and you fly into a thunderstorm or you decide to violate something, you're not helping the entire community. And the same thing's going on here. The decisions that individual operators are making are influencing everything we do. And you can either make my job really hard or you can make my job really easy by ensuring that you're doing things in an environment that is safe and you're educating yourself to the best you can of how to do these operations safely.
Earl Lawrence of the FAA, thank you for spending time with us for Airborne and Aero-TV.
Thank you, Jim.
Aero-TV is brought to you by
Continental Motors Group. Manned and unmanned, Continental has been a pivotal part of aviation and aerospace history and wants to be a part of your mission. Gas or diesel, certified or experimental, Continental is investing in your future. www.continentalmotors.aero